Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. Now this is probably about the latest I've actually recorded a waffle. It's 20 to 11 at night. It's on Friday night, but I've just had a few things I wanted to get done, and I thought I'll get the waffle done because I'm away early morning. So how are you? I hope you're all fine. It's the weekend once again. Always glad to see the weekend, and you know it's funny when you think at the moment there is really we can't do anything. You can't really go anywhere. There's no shops open. You can't go to anything, and so I just look forward to the weekend. I look forward to getting the long lies. When I say long lie, I'll maybe get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, but when you're getting up at 6:30 every morning, 9 o'clock is a long lie. So yeah, that's. I hope, like I said, I hope you're all absolutely fine. Weather-wise here up in Scotland, it's just rain. It's been absolutely Baltic as well. You really feel like winter's kicking in. Interesting thing is, my car was not interesting the slightest, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My thermostat in the car is it's not working because when I got home tonight it said it was 40 degrees outside. Trust me, it's not 40 degrees. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of been that. What I've been doing with myself, I've been playing a bit of my MAME cab. I've also been making a few videos as well. As you know, I've been kind of struggling on the video front, really not finding any time to make some. So I've kind of stockpiled. I think I've got 3 in the can. So there will be some videos coming out next week. Gaming wise, what have I been doing? Since I've been playing my MAME cab. I've not played the PlayStation 4 for quite a long time. I've been selling stuff as well. I'm selling my, well in fact you might, can you see it? No you can't. If I move my head and turn the thing around, if I get out the road, you'll see that, wherever it is. I can't even see it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can't see it, you can see the monitor. You can also see my baby Yoda, which I got for myself. I just thought I'll buy it and it's going to get sold out at Christmas and people will pay stupid money for it. But nah, I bought it. It's actually quite a cool little toy. I'll keep it and hopefully it will increase in value like anything else for sort of Star Wars related. But anyway, yeah, I decided to get rid of my Commodore 1384S monitor. Now I have to say it's a lovely monitor. It really does. I mean, it's, you know, you get the perfect old school picture. The problem for me is it takes up a lot of space, and I can only really connect the, well that's not technically true, I was going to say I can only really connect the Amiga up, but because it takes up so much space I couldn't have anything else on the table. So if you look, again, if I turn around, you'll see there I've got my Spectrum next, I've got my monitor, I've got my Amiga on the shelf below, and then I've got my I've got the Spectrum next to it, funny enough. So it means I can use that, I can connect up my Atari, my BBC, really any machine that I want and get proper use of it. That's been good. But yeah, like I said, the Commodore monitor is fantastic, but I think I've reached the point now where I'm trying to kind of, I'm not trying to raise money. I mean, the money's nice obviously. I just think I want space, and so things like these monitors, the thing is, it could technically fall over at any point, and right now it's worth a fair bit of money. So I've sold it. I'm just actually waiting to post it. Hang on, somebody's messaging me. Who is this? No, it's one of the guys from my work. Yeah, I would rather sell things now when I can make money on them rather than leave it for 5 years and then find out it doesn't work anymore. So rather than taking it away and putting it in a loft or putting it in a cupboard and it does nothing and then it ends up breaking, like a few things. I mean, my Mega Cd 32 stopped working. I don't want that. I want to try and recoup some of the money. So I've got a perfectly good monitor, you know, that I can use. Now I know people say, oh, it doesn't look as good as a CRT, and you know what, yeah, you're maybe right, but it's still, these, through SCART, these, you know, home computers still do look really nice on small LCDs. I don't care what anybody says. In fact, you know what, it's actually just crossed my mind. I have got a SCART line generator, and it's a little box. It's about the same size as a Raspberry Pi, and it basically generates SCART lines. That is all it does. It puts SCART lines into it. I'll need to dig that out actually. I wonder where it is. Yeah, I could use that, and that way you're getting the old school kind of SCART lines. So that's been that. Anything else I've been selling? No, I don't think so. I've still got a lot of stuff to sell, to be fair. I really have. I'm not selling anything that I want to keep. Obviously, if I want to keep, I'm not going to be selling it. But I just want to, I want to get rid of things that I don't use. By the way, I'm recording this. I bought this webcam, I don't know, about a year ago, and I remember plugging it in and I thought, it's shit. So I went back to the other webcam, and that's the one I've been using for a while. And then I dug this one out just the other day, and I thought, this is actually not bad. I mean, this is meant to be 1080p. I don't know if it is. Well, I'm sure it is. If it says it's 1080p, then it probably is. It's not the crispest looking picture, but I think it gives, what I like about it, it gives quite a kind of widescreen picture. Now, I've completely forgot to mention this. I have now got two monitors. I've got that one and I've got this one, which is fantastic. I've got a I've got a Samsung TV there. It does 1980 by 1080, and then I've got my Asus there. Now, it was Panther that said to me about we're trying to figure out how to do the live stream and have proper sound and that kind of stuff, and using one monitor is not the best. So Chris said to me, why don't you get a second monitor? And I thought, well, what is that going to bring? What's that going to do for me? And he says, well, you can use it for other things. So I dug out this Samsung out my cupboard, connected it up, and you know what? It's absolutely revolutionised how I use a computer. I've now got the full YouTube. I've got my comments there, and I've got myself in that screen. And it means that I can now, I've mentioned CoinOps Next, which is an absolutely fantastic bit of software with all the different games and that kind of stuff. It means that I can now have that running there, and I can stream it, which is going to be great, because it means that I can now start playing games, not just 8-bit or 16-bit computers. I can play the 3DO, I can play the Dreamcast, I can play the PlayStation 2, I can play the GameCube, you name it. I can play all these systems now, and even it just makes it a lot easier for me. So what I'm going to do, live streams on Sundays, I'm going to start doing like a shoot 'em up special, an arcade driving special. You know, I'm really looking forward to kind of using that, so that's going to be good fun. So thanks Chris for kind of getting me to do this. We did check it out, we did a wee kind of test run on Tuesday, I think it was, because we wanted to see how the live stream. By the way, this Sunday, set your alarm clocks 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There's going to be a 5-hour live stream. It's just going to be me playing games. Go to Discord, and there's a Google Docs which you can add a game. If there's a game you want to see me play, add it in. I think we've got about 30-40 games so far, which will probably, I don't know, that may well take up the 5 hours. We're also probably going to bring in people. If you want to join the stream at any point, let us know. What we'll do is we'll maybe get a wee time slot type thing, or we can maybe do it in Discord. I don't know quite how we're going to work it. It's going to be completely unrehearsed. There's not going to be any like special guests. I don't mean that you guys are not special, obviously, yeah. We're not going to have any famous people, you know, like we did the last time. There's no money exchanging hands for charity, anything like that. It's just going to be a 5-hour hoot fest. We're going to have an absolute hoot, play games, talk shite. It's just basically the normal Sunday stream, but instead of 2 hours, it's going to be 5 hours. So I'm really looking forward to that as well, starting 4 o'clock on Sunday. and it means that we can have the video full screen, and like I says, it means that I can also, that's the great thing as well, I can now play emulators full screen, because previously when I've been playing, you know, the C64, when I played China Miner, trust me, I've been playing it in a screen, I don't know, about really maybe 6 inches by 6 inches. Now I can play it full screen. I'm not saying it's going to make it any easier, I'm not going to be suddenly get any better at the game, but it's going to make my experience better because I can play games in full screen, which before I wasn't able to do. So yeah, if you've got the opportunity to have a second screen on a PC, go and do it. It just makes using a computer far more pleasurable, because you can have a window open there, you can have your emails open there, or a spreadsheet open there, or whatever. It's fantastic, it really is. And I noticed I was playing about with MAME, and what I noticed I can have it set to 2 screens. Now what I was hoping was some of the, is it Gradius? I'm sure there's a Gradius game that was on, it's like super widescreen. I'm sure in the arcades it was stretched across like 3 monitors, and I was hoping that I could maybe play that across the 2. But what it does is, if you set the settings to 2 screens, you just basically get it running on, you get the same game running on 2 separate screens, so that's not much good. But yeah, absolutely revolutionised how I use my computer. So I'm really looking forward to the live stream on Sunday. Before I forget, nothing to do with gaming, Mike Tyson, he's fighting, I can't even remember the name of the guy, but he's fighting tomorrow night, or I'm saying tomorrow night, it's going to be probably early Sunday morning. I'm of an age where I grew up watching Mike Tyson fight. I don't think he's the greatest boxer in the world, but I think he is the most fiercest boxer. I mean, Mike Tyson, when he was young and at his prime, he was just absolutely terrifying. I mean, he was just a complete animal. He would literally take your head off, you know. And you know what? Absolutely fair play to the guy to come back at 52 years old and fight. I think that takes a lot of guts, a lot of nerve, you know. And I've got a lot of respect for the guy. I mean, back in the day, you wanted Mike Tyson to get beat. I remember when he fought Frank Bruno. We all knew that Frank Bruno was going to get destroyed, and he did. And we all hated Mike Tyson. We all wanted him to get beat. But you know what? When you look back at his life, he was just taken advantage of. I mean, Don King, I think, is he in prison now? Hopefully he is. He was just like out and out criminal. He just exploited Mike Tyson. You know, Mike Tyson I don't know how much money he must have made over the years. It must have been hundreds of millions. And then I think he ended up penniless. I mean, I think he's kind of got himself back on track. He's been in a number of films. He's been in the Hangover. I think he might have been in the second one as well. Maybe even the third one, I'm not too sure. But I like Mike Tyson. I've got a lot of respect for him. And if you see what kind of form he's in now, if I was 20 years old, I would not get in the ring with a 52-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't know how it's going to go. It might be a bit of a farce, you know. I don't know. I hope it's a good fight. I am hoping to watch it. I don't know what time it starts tomorrow night. I also noticed there's some bloody YouTuber, somebody Paul. I'm assuming, is it Logan Paul? I think is it his brother? I can't be arsed with people like that, because they're YouTubers. They're just making their money on the back of making videos, and because of their fame and their popularity, they think that they can then go and make more money doing boxing. And the thing is, the guy is going to probably make a shitload of money. But you know, to me, it's unfair that somebody like a YouTuber would be on the same bill as Mike Tyson. You know, I mean, what they should have done is put the YouTuber against Mike Tyson. That I would have paid good money to go and see that. Yeah, let's get Mike Tyson against a YouTuber. Let's get PewDiePie against Mike Tyson. Yeah, I'll definitely pay for that. However, if Don King is watching this and he wants to pit an aging an aging Scottish YouTuber against, I don't know, Prince Nazim Hamid. Have you seen him now? Yeah, I'm up for that. You know, you show me the money, Don, and I'll be there. By the way, I'm not cold. I had my hat on when I was out, and I've just left it on. To be fair, I thought it kind of takes away the shininess of my baldy head. So yeah. Anyway, listen, it's I don't want to do this too late because it's now 5 to 11. I want to get this. I need to get this edited and put out. Yeah, I think I mentioned I'm using the camera app in Windows 10. What's the quality like? I'll tell you, it's dead easy to use. This is probably going to be the way I'm going to record in future because I get a full screen and yeah, the picture quality looks really good. So anyway, I'm going to turn my head now and look at some questions over here. So from last week's Friday Waffle, let's have a look. Down the rabbit hole. Hi Alan, do you have a way to play homebrew games on Atari Lynx? Because I just found out there's a Berserk ROM for Lynx called Berserkoids. Ah, interesting, Kev. I'll need to have a look for that. I mean, I don't have an Atari Lynx. Stop messaging me, whoever that is. It's probably the guy from my work. Oh, it's Mr. Panther UK messaging me. I don't have an Atari Lynx. The only way I can play Atari Lynx games is through an emulator. I can't remember what it's called. It's actually not a bad emulator. So that's the only way I can play it, Kev, and I will actually have to look for that Berserkoids. Interesting. Secondly, another ROM that recently surfaced is out for the Vectrex called A Crush of Lucifer. It's not finished, but I hope someone develops it because it looks a lot like Star Wars Arcade. Wow, you know what, after this I'm going to go and look for these. I take it, can you put it onto a Vector, I've got the Vector Flash, whatever it's called. I'm going to go and have a look for that, so thanks for the heads up, Kev. Finally, I have started playing some Sega CD games and wondered if there were any specific titles for the Sega CD you recommend. Let me have a wee look. I can't actually remember offhand what games came out for the Sega CD. I don't think there was that many, so I'm just going to load up my game base and see what it says. Is it loading? Come on, is it loading? Let me just... Oh, it is loading. I'm probably just getting a wee bit impatient. Sega CD, come on, where are you? There we go. Right, Sega Mega CD. I did have a Sega Mega CD and I sold it because I hadn't had any games for it, and I just, you know what, there was just nothing I wanted to play. According to this, there are 407 games. Wow, I didn't realise there was that many. I think a lot of the games, Kev, were just ports from the Mega Drive, and they had a bit of music kind of chucked on. Afterburner, Amazing Spider-Man. There's nothing really jumps out there. Now I think I mean, there's Dragon's Lair, that'd be interesting. Never actually played it. Echo the Dolphin, Final Fight CD. Don't know. Probably just the music, to be fair. Jaguar XJ220, that might be worth a look. Did Lotus ever come out for... No, it didn't. No, I don't think Lotus did come out for the Mega Drive. The one game that... no, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of the 32X. I was going to say Space Harrier. Did Space Harrier ever come out for the Mega CD? There's Star Wars Rebel Assault, which I think was meant to be quite a good. Star Wars Chess looks interesting. Though sadly it's not the chess that you see Chewbacca and the C3PO playing. Tell you, just talking about Star Wars, I've recently got into The Mandalorian, and I've got to say, I am really enjoying it. Personally, I'm with Lycosa. I think the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 Star Wars films, I wouldn't say they were shit, but they're not a patch on the original 3. But I've got to say, I really do enjoy The Mandalorian. I think I don't know, I just like the way it's been put together. It's quite arty, it's not over the top, there's no annoying Jar Jar Binks, excuse me. If I don't know who, I've got hiccups, I don't know who directed it, but whoever directed it should certainly be commissioned to make the next film. They could have probably quite easily off listen to me, it's getting late. If they bunged all the Mandalorians together, they could have made a couple of good films out of that. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Thunderstorm. You know what, Kev? I think the best thing you could really do would be just have a look, go into Google and type in the best Mega CD games. From what I can gather, a lot of them, I don't think there was many exclusives. I think most of them were just Mega Drive games, and they had the sort of like the sound and that kind of thing tacked on. So yeah, anyway, Kev, thank you very much for your questions, buddy. Del Boy, great waffle as always. A toy company makes an action figure of Main Meister. Bloody hell. What two accessories does it come with? Blah. I think it would have to be a Vectrex, a little mini Vectrex, and obviously hair dye, or dye so you can actually dye Main Meister's beard. Yep, beard dye and a Vectrex. Fantastic question, Dale. Wee Bob, playing Mr. Do while listening along. Great waffle as always, and sounds like life is busy. Question 1 for Nick's Waffle. Did you ever enjoy any light gun games? I did, Bob. I did. What games did I enjoy? I did enjoy Virtua Cop 2, not in the Saturn because I never had, well, I mean, I've got a Saturn now, but I've not got any way of playing light gun games. Although I think Kevin down the rabbit hole did mention there is apparently some, oh no, it was my mate Alan actually mentioned that you can actually, there's some add-on that allows you to use a light gun with LCD games. But light gun games, I loved House of the Dead, and I loved House of the Dead 2. Acting is absolutely god awful. It's like, it really, seriously, it's just the worst acting ever. But yeah, great light gun games. I'm trying to think, there was also quite a good one called Confidential Mission, I think it was, and that was in the Sega Dreamcast. Never really got into Time Crisis, never really played them, but yeah, some cracking games. Number 2, I like getting out walking, but I think it would be I think it would be great during the dark nights to be able to plug in an augmented reality headset and walk, or maybe jog depending on weight wires, on a treadmill while being virtually surrounded by different landscapes. You know what, Bob, I've always thought of that. I would love, you know, not even so much for like running, but I just think for people who are maybe disabled or whatever, you know, they're they're wheelchair bound, or they can't leave their bed, to have something where they can have a headset on and be taken into a sort of virtual world. That would, not so much a virtual world, taken into a sort of an environment that is based on real life, like a forest, a beach, I don't know, but yeah, that would be bloody awesome. That would be really, really good, and I think that kind of thing is only around the corner. Anyway, Bob, thank you very much. Let's have a look. Legsy is asking, if money and actual space wasn't an issue, which 3 arcade cabinets would you love to have? Now, I do get asked that one quite a lot, and my games tend to change. Having sort of well, I wouldn't say I'm good, kinda got the grips. I've got to grips with Defender. I'm not good at it, but I can now play the game. I now know the controls. I think I would love an original Defender cab. Probably Galaxian, probably Berserk, and can I also get Track and Field, please? Yeah, that's the ones. Good stuff. You oldie gamer Steve, Great Waffle again. 2 questions this week for you. Have you ever had an Amstrad CPC, and if not, would you consider buying one? I have, and I do, Steve. I bought an Atari. I bought an Amstrad CPC about, maybe 5-6 years ago. I mean, I got it for an absolute steal. I got it for 60 quid. And that came with hundreds of games. And it was the colour screen, but you know what? I hardly used it. And again, it goes back to what I'm saying about the Commodore monitor. My games room back in my old house was absolutely tiny, and so space was a complete premium, and I couldn't really afford the space to just have the Amstrad set up. And because I didn't have anywhere to store it, so it was up in the loft, and it just meant that I never really got to play it. So I did reluctantly sell it. In fact, you know what? I think I bought it for 60, and I sold it for 60 quid. I mean, you know, now I would have kept it. I would definitely have kept it. But I did buy another CPC computer, maybe a couple of years ago, and what I've got for it is it's an add-on that basically allows me to connect it to a monitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig the Amstrad out at some point and play it. The only problem is I don't have any way of loading games. I know Novabug did do in fact he showed off numerous ways to load games using SD cards. It was when Chris took part in the 12-hour live stream. Chris was showcasing different ones. So what I'm going to have to do is go and revisit that video and see if I can get a cheap SD solution for the Amstrad. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. That is one thing that I would like to get. And yeah, I mean, the Amstrad, it's a lovely machine. You know, I know I give it a bit of a hard time in some of the arcade perfects because some of the games on it were just goddamn awful, and that was not the Amstrad's fault. That was down to the programmers' sheer laziness, you know. But the Amstrad's a lovely machine. Yeah, fantastic. And finally, which is your favourite flavour of crisps? It depends. It depends what ones. I'm trying to think. I would probably say beef crisps. Now Walkers don't do beef crisps. Why is that? Why do Walkers not, or do they do beef crisps? My favourite beef crisps used to be KP, but I don't think they're even a thing now. I think KP are now owned by Walkers. Like everything, they own basically everything, you know. One company takes over everything else. But yeah, beef crisps. I love the McCoy's beef, and you get these, like, you know, steak and onion and that kind of stuff. I love these ones, but then I also love cheese and onion as well. I like plain crisps. I don't mind prawn cocktail. I'm not a fan of pickled onion. Not a fan of salt and vinegar. But yeah, probably beef crisps, I would say, Steve. So thank you very much. Panther UK, great waffle, mate, especially as I know how rushed you've been this week. For the next waffle, how many systems have broke on you and were they expensive to fix, if it was even possible? What machines have I had over the years? I've had a C64 die on me many years ago, back in the early 80s, and I took it back to John Menzies and I got a new one. What else have I had break on me? Don't think I've had any Amigas or STs. No, and I've never had any PCs break on me. I think it'd probably be more up-to-date stuff. What machines? My PC Engine Duo stopped working, and Gadget UK, Chris, top bloke, he fixed it for me. He basically recapped the whole thing and he's got it as good as new again. My CD32, which I mentioned, has now given up the ghost. I can't load anything in it at all, which is annoying, and I don't have the wherewithal to fix it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about selling it, but I'd like to keep it. So I don't know. I'll just maybe at one point I'll look to get it fixed. But don't think there's been anything else. Yeah, my GPD-XD, although that was a Chinese Android thing, that gave up the ghost a couple of years ago, and I ended up selling it for absolute... No, in fact, I ended up throwing it in the bucket. I threw it in the bucket because one of my mates took it to bits and he couldn't fix it, and it just went in the bin. My... talking to handhelds, my... what do you call it? My Nvidia Shield Portable, which you can see there, it's there it is, yep, that's it there, that stopped working, rather annoyingly. In fact, I'm really annoyed because it stopped working, and I took it into a computer, not a computer games, I took it into a mobile phone shop. It's a big chain that fix mobile phones and whatnot. In fact, the guy that owns it is actually a friend of my girlfriend's, and I said to him, you know, it might need a new battery, can you check it? And he had it for 2 weeks, and then he got back to me and said, sorry, can't fix it, I think one of the processors is away in it. So I sold it on eBay for £18. Now these go for 120 quid upwards. I sold it for £18, and then I was gutted about not having it, so I bought myself another one. I got another one for about, was it 90 quid I think it was, which is a good price. And then about 2 weeks ago, the guy who bought it on eBay for £18 messaged me, and he said, by the way, I've got your, or not yours, I've got it working. I opened it up and put a new battery in it. Do you want to buy it back for what you paid for it? And I was severely tempted to say yes, but I didn't because I don't need to. But I was really annoyed at the fact that this shop said they couldn't fix it, and I sold this for 18 quid, and all it required was a battery, and I did ask him to change the battery and he didn't do it. So I was a bit upset about that. But hardware wise, I can't think of anything else offhand. I mean, I've had Commodore 64s and Spectrums over the years stop working, and I've sold them. I've just basically sold them for parts. But anyway, yeah, good question, Chris. Thanks for that, buddy. London Retro Video Games. Lewis, he was saying, I was talking about my monitor for my main cab. I'd suggest getting a bigger widescreen monitor or even a TV that has low input lag, but mounting it vertically. I think that's what Panther does. Pretty sensible option and great for vertical games. You could even blank off the areas that aren't 4:3 ratio. CoinOps has a nice vertical build too. Yeah, thanks Lewis. I mean, it is something that I think I will consider doing at some point, but to be fair, I'm really enjoying the cab. I really am. Love it to bits. So, but I probably will put a bigger screen in at some point. And Dale Boy saying here, such a great waffle and worth the wait, as so many of the items you have matched my own. I think I mentioned Evil Knievel and Simon. Oh, I remember that, Simon. It was basically Simon Says. But my bike at Christmas was a Rally Bomber. I did have a chopper as a bike, but the Bomber was my favourite as a teenager. Strange how popular Rally was. I had Astro Wars as well. I guess I was just an electronics geek back then. It had a magnified plastic screen to give it a bit more oomph when you played it. Yeah, it did. It kind of, yeah, it just magnified it. John Rand, regarding the downvotes on your technical problems video, I didn't downvote it, but I didn't like it, but only because I'm a headphone wearer and the first sound in that video was actually physically painful for me with no warning. What was that again? Technical problems video. Oh yeah. That was my little joke thing. Yeah, I mean it's just a bit of fun, you know. I wonder if that was the reason some people downvoted it. You know what? I think you can't change people. I mean, people that watch my channel, people that watch my channel for a length of time, you'll know that I'd like to think I've got a bit of sense of humour. I don't take myself too seriously. I do try and put out entertaining videos if I can, and that's just a bit of banter. It's the same with my Mainmeister's minimalist reviews. I basically do a 3-second review of a game, and you would not believe the number of down thumbs that I get on videos. And again, people don't understand, people don't get what I'm trying to achieve. It's a laugh, I'm trying to entertain. You know what, it doesn't really matter. Milfy Swinbuckle, hello again Mainmeister. Question for the next waffle: what is the most expensive game and the most expensive piece of hardware you've bought that was a fair old wad of cash? The most expensive game, I don't really, you know what Milfy, as I've mentioned before, I don't buy games per se. I mean, the most expensive game would have to be a PlayStation 4 game because they're like 45 quid. But the most expensive kind of old game, I wouldn't pay a lot of money. I wouldn't go spending 70 quid or 100 quid on Radiant Silvergun. It would probably be, I don't know, it'd probably be a Vectrex game, a Homebrew Vectrex game. They're maybe like 30 quid, but they're worth every single penny. But I don't buy games for collection. If I can get an SD card solution, I'll always do that. Hardware, what's the most expensive bit of hardware? Again, my main cab cost me a fair bit of money, but you know, that's not technically a retro hardware. I'm trying to think. I mean, my Vectrex was about 100 quid. Trying to think. I mean, my Atari 400, that was 100 quid, but I got the Atari 400 with that as well. Probably, I'm guessing probably like the Neo, not the Neo Geo. Well, yeah, the Neo Geo NVS home console-eyed thing, which is basically, it's the arcade board and somebody's turned it into a console. That cost me, I mean, that's kind of a new bit of old hardware, but I'm sure that was about 200 quid. I mean, I bought that about 4 years ago. I think my my PC Engine Duo was maybe about 150 quid, but I've not paid any what I would class as daft amount for hardware. No, I can't. I think, yeah, probably these two things I would say. And so much cash that it made, so much cash that it made, at first it made you question this was worth the money. However, once you tried it, the game or piece of hardware completely justified its price. Yeah, I mean, the PC Engine Duo, love it. The Vectrex game, absolutely love it as well. So I've never, I mean, when I bought my second MAME cab, it was £500. I mean, I'd raised about £400 selling stuff, so I had the money kind of there for it. I did, when I first bought it and I got it home, I had slight buyer's remorse, and then after I started playing it, and after a couple of days, I remember saying to my girlfriend, I'm kind of regretting buying it. I don't know, I just felt it wasn't much of an improvement on my other cabinet. And she said, then she saw it and she's like, this is brilliant, this is great, why don't you like it? And you know, within about a day I fell in love with it and I love it, and I absolutely, you know, delighted about it. It's something that I play. I mean, I was playing Donkey Kong last night, I was making my dinner and I played a bit of Donkey Kong. Love it, I really do, so no regrets with that at all. Yeah, so that all your fears got extinguished, and you'd recommend it to anyone who asked about it, as you now feel you got a bargain. Yeah, like I says, the things that I've bought, I completely just, I would buy them again, 100%. Colin Jones, superb waffle as always, thank you Colin. I tried to get a PS5 for Christmas, failed, not looking promising. Yeah, you know what, I don't get this. How did we get to a stage where you can't even pre-order something? You can't just go out and buy it. I mean, can you imagine that in the Mega Drive? When the Mega Drive came out, and the SNES came out, the Mega came out, you could go and buy them. Do these companies deliberately put them in short supply so that you can't buy one? You know, that just puts me off buying stuff like that. But I'll be honest, given what you know, what kind of Kevin mentioned about the In fact, I'm sorry, I'm just going to quickly jump to here. Kevin down the rabbit hole saying, just to clarify my PSVR comment, Sony are not making any VR games for the PS5. You can still play PSVR on PS5, but only in backwards compatibility mode. So don't necessarily sell off your headset yet. Just don't expect a lot of PSVR games to take advantage. See, that saddens me. I think Sony have kinda sold their customers short, because people who have just bought a PSVR and suddenly they've got a console that's not going to get any games soon, and they can't use this brand new piece of hardware. To me, that sounds like Sony are throwing the towel in with VR, which does sadden me, because I really thought that they were getting behind it. So yeah, that's a shame. But yeah, getting back at the PSVR, the PlayStation 5, I've not really got any interest in buying one at the moment. Will I buy one? Probably, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for it to come down in price. I'm going to wait for it so you can easily go into Argos and buy one and probably get a decent deal in it. Yeah, so anyway, it's I hope you get yours, Colin. I mean, one of my mates managed to get hold of two. He kind of got two by accident, and he sold one for quite a lot of money. And you know what? Fair play to him. If people want to spend 750 quid on a console, that's up to them. And let's have a wee look. Cauldron of Stardust. Just finished watching Alan's video. The anti-VR comment I made was written and posted when I was only halfway through. But Alan brings up a great point at the end of the video: the struggle for new ideas in classical style handheld controller plus screen monitor video games. This isn't just the babbling of a bearded, crotchety Scottish curmudgeon. It's a real issue. Games in the past decade have been struggling to find new ideas and avenues that haven't already been mined out. Prior to this past 10 to 15 years, video games could always be different from what came out before due to improvements in technology. 16-bit machines could do things that 8-bit machines couldn't do. CD systems allowed for games to be endless in length. Just take a disc and insert, oh hang on, I'm about to finish, read more, and insert disc 2. You couldn't do that on a Super Nintendo. Games are always fresh because the technological improvements opened up new possibilities for game developers that couldn't have been done before. But the technology has been so good this past decade that neither hardware nor software limitations really exist anymore. There was a true difference between NES games and NES SNES games. Looking back on the PS4, was it really any different from the PS3? Yeah, I think it's the slight details, but not much. I mean, I've watched a few videos of, is it Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 and Spider-Man on the PlayStation 5? I struggle to see the difference. I don't really see any differences. It's obvious that Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation wasn't made on a SNES as Final Fantasy VI was, but show me the most impressive looking PlayStation 4 game and tell me it's a PS3 game and I'd have no reason not to believe you. The games and graphics look pretty much the same in both. They're both outstanding, they're both so lifelike. Will the PlayStation 5 be any different from the PlayStation 4? Will it really truly be any different? I can't see how it will. Freedom from technological restraints seem great at first. Game developers at long last have freedom to successfully make games as grand as anything their imagination can envision. There aren't limits there once were, but after a decade of this freedom, the well is beginning to run dry when it comes to new ideas, and it's becoming a real issue. It's gotten so bad that for many game developers, the answer ironically seems to be turning the clock backwards and making games look older to give the game a more humble and charming look. Yeah, you know what? I've never really been that easy with people doing that. You know, it does seem like we're going back. We're getting this super powerful hardware, and we're going back to old games. Animal Crossing New Horizons is being considered by many as the best game of 2020, and graphically speaking it looks like something you'd see in the GameCube from 15 years ago. The smash hit game with post-millenniums, Generation Z and early generation Alpha kids nowadays is Among Us, a game so primitive in its visuals you'd think it wasn't even from this millennium. The desperate search for something new seems to have hit the wall so hard it's looking for the solution by technologically bouncing backwards off that wall. This may be a nice solution to the problem for the time being, but it can't sustain forever. With these factors considered, it's no wonder why VR and like is seen as many by a potential salvation, and while again I vehemently disagree with that notion and dismiss it as flimsy gimmick, which it is, I can't offer any opinion on how to solve the problem, because I'll admit I don't have an opinion because I don't know the solution. The only certainty I have with that is with this problem is the 2020s are sure to be an interesting, unpredictable game decade for video games. Absolutely, and I'm just going to finish off what Calden's saying here. I hate to say this, but while I think it's sad that Sony's loss of interest in supporting PSVR is unfortunate for those who put lots of money into it, I sympathise with such folks who didn't realise they were investing in a short-term thing. I ultimately think it's good for the gaming world. I've been saying this for years, VR is not the future of video games, and it shouldn't be. It's gimmick gaming like motion sensor video games. Think Xbox Connect and those Rock Bands games and Dance Dance Revolution and that garbage. VR gaming is absolute antithesis of what makes gaming so great. See, I would disagree with that. Right now, VR is a bit of a, I've mentioned it before, it's like going for a meal and having a steak dinner. You wouldn't want to go and have a steak dinner every single night. VR's a bit like that. It's a lovely gaming experience, and I feel you're being quite unfair to it. I don't know if you actually tried VR at all. VR is incredible. Is it the future of video games? I think it is. I don't think it is in its current form, but I think in 20 years time VR will be a completely different beast from what it is now. It will be, you sit down at your TV and you just tell it to come on, boom. VR is astounding. It's giving, you're playing games in a completely different way. So I do disagree with you, I have to say, saying it's just a gimmick. But like I say, its current format, I don't think the technology is there yet. Sorry, what's that you're saying? VR game is the absolute antithesis of what makes gaming so great. To think that the future of video games lies in gyrating your body while flailing your arms and legs around is preposterous. Companies doing so threatens to stifle development of quality video games by diverting companies' attention to VR when it should be going into making better quality games played in the classic style, as video games should be, with a handheld controller and a screen to look at. So while I'm sad for folks who spent their money on VR products, I'm happy to see that yet another gaming company recognises that the classic style of video playing games, i.e. handheld controller and screen and monitor, is not only the past and present of gaming, but also the future of it. Don't change what is already perfect, and that resources should be spent bettering that experience. VR is not the future of video games. The quicker we realise that, the quicker it'll die, and that's a good thing. Nah, I totally agree with you, I have to say, mate. I really do. You know, like I said, I mean, VR is, if you've watched my VR video that I did with Dale Boy, VR is fantastic. It's, like I said, in its current format, it's not going to ever take over the tried and tested sitting on the couch with a gamepad, but to dismiss it is just a gimmick. You're really missing the point. I mean, VR is an astounding thing, you know, it really is. You try playing Moose Life in VR, it takes the basis of what you're talking about, handheld controller, and being able to play it in VR is just a different thing altogether. So I think we'll agree to differ on that. But listen, thanks very much to all your comments there, that is just awesome. And the last way, Milty Swinbuckle, I've never actually understood why people would want to downvote, especially when the video was just a bit of fun. That's exactly what it was, and was actually informing everyone that the Friday Waffle would be a day later. So yeah, it was fun, but I wanted you guys to know, because here's the thing, if I never did a Friday Waffle at all, either on Friday or Saturday, people would get genuinely concerned. I know that because I've had that before. I've had you guys message me, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And it's the same with the Sunday live stream. If I didn't do a Sunday live stream and didn't tell you I wasn't doing it, people would get worried. So yeah, I did it rather than just putting a post with me talking. I thought I'll do a bit of laugh. You know, some people didn't get the joke, but hey ho. I could maybe understand it if they found a particular video offensive. If the video, say, contained extreme racist, sexist, homophobic views, etc., or a view so skewed that it was offensive to humanity itself in support of heinous crimes. But even then, it's their opinion and they're entitled to it. Though I do know that YouTube has rules regarding unpopular and extreme views. I actually thought that downvoting could be harmful to a video or the actual channel, which is one of the reasons I would never downvote a channel's video, particularly one that I constantly watch and support. However, I've never looked into this, and seeing how Mainmeister says here that it still benefits the video, then I suppose the downvoting could have been done as a bit of a joke. Other than that, I too, Mainmeister, don't see the point of downloading a video containing a catchy. You said downloading. You mean down-thumbing a video that contains a catchy tune and a picture of some sheep. P.S. Just had an epiphany. I now believe the downvoters are actually Jeff Minter's haters, and they fear that the sheep are sending out strange hypnotic suggestions in order to get them to play Jeff's great games. P.P.S. Actually, this can't be the case, for if this was true, then surely it would have been a field of bloody yaks. And finally, Lou Seafor is saying because trolls will be trolls. You're absolutely Lou. Anyway guys, listen, I have rabbited on quite enough. I'm going to stop this video, get it uploaded onto the internets for you guys to watch. I hope you all have a really nice weekend. This Sunday, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, be there or be square. It'd be fantastic to come along, have a bit of a laugh. Yeah, that is it guys. As always, thank you very much. Take care. Thanks for watching.